What's good, y'all, and welcome to Rosemary Radio, our weekly, bi-weekly, whenever we feel like it, video podcast hosted exclusively on our YouTube channel, where we discuss everything we loved and everything we hated since the last time that we recorded. I'm joined once again by Uncle Kevin. How are you today, Kevin?
I'm great. Feeling great.
Is this the first show since you've officially been an uncle? No, weren't you like mid funny business?
Yeah, mid funny business. He had been born roughly 45 minutes before we started.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
So you broke the news.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I told you guys off air. I didn't want to. Kind of make a big deal out of it. It's not my announcement to make. But yes, I think this is my first time on any kind of Rosemary media thing as Uncle Kev. So,
Uncle Kevin.
So here I am. Yeah, Uncle Kev, man.
Your journey is complete.
Yeah, I think I said to you guys off air that I think I'm a really good dad. I really do. And but I think my final form really was Uncle Kev. Like I was born to be an uncle. So yeah, I'm really excited. Dude's name is John, but my daughter has decided to call him Tiny Dancer, so we're gonna call him Tiny Dancer
until he's old enough to be like, "It's John, dude." It's John.
I'll be like, "Listen, man, I can give you Rocket Man, maybe, but like, I don't know about John."
Is every year for Halloween just like straight up Elton John?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
just different variations. Like, just I mean, like here's him in. I don't know anything about Elton John, really. I just know he has all these crazy outfits. So you just line up these crazy outfits, and he's got to have at least 16 of them to last from the ages of 1 to 16.
Oh, pretty much, yeah. You have not seen the movie Rocket Man, then?
We did not watch Rocket Man.
You should watch Rocket Man, dude.
I know. I have nothing against Elton John. I like the dude. I like his music, but I just I don't know anything more than that.
I mean, that's the reason to watch Rocket Man. I mean, I know it's a slightly recontextualized version of it where they've definitely taken some liberties, but all in all, you get the Elton John experience with some really fantastic musical numbers. I think Taron Egerton should be the biggest star in the world based on just his level of talent, like from acting to singing and dancing, everything. So like,
love the trailer, and I think that dude was great. But it's just also like, what has he done since? How come he didn't take off the way he was supposed to?
Taron Egerton? Oh, Robin Hood, I mean, so this is not what this episode is about, but if you ever want to, I could do like a whole episode on how Hollywood has completely mismanaged the Robin Hood property essentially the entire time since 1937. The 1937 Robin Hood with Errol Flynn is an absolute masterpiece, and everything that comes after that, even the Kevin Costner one that I do have a soft spot for, even that one though, but everything that comes after that is absolute trash, and it shouldn't be. It's such an easy story to tell. And so Taron Egerton did his version of Robin Hood a few years back with Jamie Foxx, and it's just trash. And I think one trash movie can really ruin it for a guy. He needs to do another Kingsman movie will bring Taron Egerton right back to the forefront.
Oh, I forgot I brought these cans over here. So have you seen these in any gas stations yet?
What is it? Liquid Death?
So you'd think this is a beer, right? Looks like a beer.
But that's water.
Looks like a beer. Yeah. This one is mountain water, and this one is sparkling water.
Okay.
They're just straight up beers that look like they should be IPAs or something. But they were $2 for $3 at the gas station, and I sat that on my desk at work, and everybody thought I was drinking at work today. And it was fun to explain to everybody that I wasn't, to the point where I wish that I had done the opposite and just convinced them that I was.
I think you can lay some groundwork there where if you drink enough Liquid Death and it just kind of becomes your thing, then all of a sudden when you do drink a beer, no one says anything.
Right. Yeah. Just weed myself there. Yeah. So on the back, their whole thing is #death to plastic. We donate 10% of the profits from every can sold to help kill plastic pollution.
I like it.
It's strong, man. It's strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say that it tasted good, but it's like, it's fucking water, dude. Like all sparkling water tastes the same. Can you really say like this sparkling water tastes really good? Like it's sparkling water.
It's sparkling water.
I think but that's what they realized. I think they're just like, all water tastes the same and people are buying water. So why not make one that just like, we got to sell appearance at this point if they're all the same. You know what I mean? Like you're only buying for the can or the bottle. Yeah. If it looks good, you'll buy it.
I mean, so if I can, man, we're off on a tangent here, but like if I can disparage my own likes, my own preferences, like I'm a big beer guy. I love beer. I love a good IPA in the summer. I love a good stout in the wintertime. Like I have like go-to beers, but like when you really drill down to it, like a lot, I would say 90% of IPAs kind of just taste the same. You know, you're kind of just getting like an ultra hoppy with like a little bit of a citrus aftertaste. Like
Mm-hmm.
most IPAs taste the same with some very exceptional outliers, obviously. So the way that they differentiate themselves is like they'll release one that's just called like Fat Slob or like Slutty Werewolf, you know, and like you see the can and the label and the stuff, and you think it's unique, and you get it. You know, I think about like my mom, who does not drink beer. To my knowledge, has possibly never had a beer. I mean, she may have tasted it at one point, but that's about it. She buys beer. She likes to have beer around for me, and she'll buy beer usually solely based on the art on the can. And
that's what we do.
Yeah, and you know, and my thought is like if you take the time to put that little bit extra into that aspect of it, you probably do enough.
I mean, you said just now, like most IPAs kind of taste the same. So it's like, how do you differentiate yourself? It's like, weird names and weird flavors, but also just like a dope looking can.
Exactly.
And I think like that's what they're doing is like they're trying to tap into the market of just like craft beer drinkers that are like also on the go. You know what I mean? They're like, they're going to the gas station grabbing water and they're like, oh, that's sick. That looks like an IPA. I'm going to grab that. And that's
no. And I mean, they tapped it, because if I'm at the gas station and I see there's Spindrift over here, but that one's called Dracula's Penis. Like I'm going to drink from
episode title, Dracula's Penis.
Yeah. I'm going to drink from Dracula's Penis.
How was your week? It was a nice week. We had like 65-degree temperatures pretty much the whole way.
Yeah.
Did you grill? I bet you got that grill out, didn't you?
No. So normally Uncle Kev would be posted up on the grill, of course. Got my second COVID shot on Sunday. So I got to say I was a little down and out on Monday. You know, and just really didn't have a chance to do a big week at work. You know, I was real busy this week, so haven't had a chance to bust out the grill. I am going to be doing that this weekend, I'm sure.
Nice. Just in time for the temperatures to go back down to the 40s.
I thought, I mean, not to be too cavalier, and I'm definitely not advocating for this, but as you know, we're in a pandemic. I don't know if you've read the news lately or anything, but we're in a pandemic. And I feel like I have taken it very, very like hyper seriously this whole time. Which I never got COVID. So like, that was pretty cool. But I have not been inside a restaurant or a bar or anything even resembling that in over
Are you gonna go?
A year.
Are you going to send it?
Yeah. Well, no, I was thinking like at this point, like my wife and I both have had our second shot. We're both like very well practiced at social distancing and mask wearing and things like that. And, you know, my mother-in-law is in town for the weekend, so we've got like all-time babysitter. So I had mentioned to her the other night, like maybe Saturday night we should like go grab a beer at, one of the local hop spots. So, not the hop spot, but like a local place. Yeah, so I don't know. So I might do that this weekend. I mean, I haven't fully made up my mind yet, because I know it's a little bit to me is still, I don't want to say irresponsible, but like I feel like we all as a society owe it to each other to like just like get out of this, and like we're in the home stretch now, especially for people that are fully vaccinated, and this is definitely not the time to be like crazy. But also, I just feel like I maybe have made it this far, and like
you earned this, dude. Like at this point, it's just like you did what you had to do. You know, you stayed home, you did everything that the fucking Fauci told you to do, and now you're ready to party. You know, so go party, Kevin. Go party.
So I might go have a beer at a local brewery this weekend. So we'll see.
Off the rip, I do want to mention also the Rosemary Media Store is now live. The link isn't really, it's messy because it's a super long link and I'm trying to shorten it, but subdomains are a pain in the ass, and trying to embed the website onto my current website is a pain in the ass. So all I'm saying is go to rosemary.media, click on store. So on the very top tab, you know, you've got read, watch, listen, forum, just click store and it'll take you right there.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure as we do this, I think both of our Twitter handles are down here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, I mean, I'll put the store link in my bio. Like, you don't have to follow me on Twitter. It's mostly me retweeting bullshit and talking about like Lord of the Rings and stuff. But like,
Twitter's just pretty much the only thing I use now. I update my Instagram maybe once per year. Other than the Rosemary stuff, I obviously update that. But like my personal Instagram, at least once or twice a year, maybe that's it. Twitter, I'm firing off every day, dude.
Yeah. No, me too. So
that's my source. But you know why?
Too. Why?
You know why? Family and like coworkers and stuff like that don't have Twitter.
Yeah.
family and coworkers never have Twitter.
Yeah.
It's just friends and people you meet on the internet, and that's the people that you wanna make jokes with and talk about politics. And stuff.
Because so that's where I'm at too. Like I have an Instagram. There's like and nothing against my family. Like that's fine. But like mostly on Instagram, I just post like pictures of my kid. Like here's my kid. Here's like how cute she is.
And that's not even for you. That's for them. You're doing it for the people.
It's for them. So if you come to my Twitter, it's for you to come here to hear me say like. Yeah, Mitch McConnell's a fucking piece of shit. Like it's shit. Like that's what I'm going after on Twitter. So like, I just feel like I can kind of unload there a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, back to I don't know how we got off that, but like the store is up. This is not in there because I decided to take the red away, but the white version's up there. Tons of shit on there. Rosemary.media. Click on store.
If Kevin, you hate Mitch McConnell and you love cool t-shirts, like that's the store for you. You park your car in the same garage we do. Buy a shirt.
I don't have a garage. I park my car in the driveway.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Figure of speech, though. I get it. First things first. I feel like we need to address the biggest story that happened throughout all of this week, because I was trying to lump this into like, this show is obviously the things we love and the things we hate. This one didn't fit into either because like it started off as like this cool thing that was happening on the internet and we loved it, and then it like we loved it even more when we found out something else. And then we started to hate it when we found out some more stuff. So like, I don't know where we stand with this. And I kind of missed a lot of it because I was busy throughout the week. So Kevin, I need you to give me the timeline of events of the Shrimp Tails story.
Yeah, the Shrimp Tails story. So Twitter user Jensen Karp.
Yes.
Yeah. Karp.
Yeah.
Finds a couple pieces of what he assumes are shrimp tails in a bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which if you're a Rosemary Media listener, is Corey's favorite cereal.
Not even just mine. It was Sean's, and maybe even I don't know. It was the ultimate favorite around the table.
Not for me.
Not for you, but like your votes just like they shot down because ours were so high.
Yeah, I don't like cereal. I mean, I'm more of an oatmeal guy myself, but.
Grits. So, Kevin loves grits.
Oh, I love grits. No, I don't. Grits are gross. So he finds a couple pieces of what he assumes are shrimp tails. Posts a picture on Twitter and it's kind of like, "Hey, General Mills." Yeah, General Mills like, "What the fuck? Like, there's shrimp tails in my Cinnamon Toast Crunch." And he examines it a little bit more. He finds like these little black pieces attached to some of them. He finds a piece of string in there, and he kind of implies like he would have left it right there if they had just like DM'd him and we're just like, "Hey, we're sorry, like we'll send you a free box or whatever." But they hit him back up and they said like, "That looks like, after careful like examination, that looks like accumulated sugar. Like this, sometimes sugar accumulates in there and like coagulates or something." And like, and he's just like, "Hold on."
Yeah,
like,
if you're not familiar with this story and you haven't seen the images, like they're shrimp tails. Like,
yeah,
they absolutely are.
They're fucking shrimp tails. Like there's no way it's not shrimp tails. Yeah. And so he gets back out there and he's just like, you guys lying to me. Like you're just like, you could have just ended this, but like you're lying to me. So it becomes this way bigger thing where now they are DMing him and he's screenshotting it and posting it to his Twitter, and they're asking him to send the bag in so they can examine it. And he's like, "No, I'm going to send half of it in so you can examine it, but then I'm going to take half of it and have it examined myself." Mm-hmm. So he's keeping everybody updated as they go. Right around this time, it's a few hours in, everybody realizes this guy is married to Danielle Fishel, who played Topanga on Boy Meets World. Topanga. Yeah, so now it's like Topanga's husband found shrimp tails in his CT Crunch. And so that happens. Then you got all these people making memes about it. There was the meme. I love this one. It's an old lady walking and like a younger woman like guiding her, and the old lady says like, "Topanga's husband found shrimp in his Cinnamon Toast Crunch," and she's like, "Sure, Grandma, sure, let's
Grandma."
Go. Yeah. So that happens. You got people saying like, "Wow, Topanga, Danielle Fishel took Lance Bass to her senior prom and married a guy named Karp, and he found shrimp tails in his CT Crunch." Like, then it goes.
The ocean is vast.
It goes even further. It turns out he bought the Cinnamon Toast Crunch at Costco on Topanga Boulevard. Like, there's so many layers.
It unravels.
Point, people are making jokes about like I guess we should say like he's a producer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and he works in TV and that kind of thing. So now people are like making jokes about how like he's going to flip this into like a TV deal somehow. And then, wouldn't you know, the ugly side of the internet starts to rear its head. Some of his ex-girlfriends decide to weigh in and talk about what a giant piece of shit he is and how he was abusive and he was this and he was like, I think possibly an alcoholic. And like, so now the internet's pretty much decided like that was a fun like 18 hours or so, but this guy sucks. And based on this information we have now, he's probably making this up. So
yeah, we got he's a milkshake duck is what Twitter's saying.
Duck.
He's a fucking milkshake duck.
Yeah.
Which that was like the other thing going on yesterday was just like shrimp guy's a milkshake duck. And it's like, if you told that to your parents, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So for the parents listening, the reference there is that I think it was around 2015, 2016, somebody made a meme where they said that if you wanted to describe Twitter to somebody, it would essentially be like, hey, everybody loves Milkshake Duck. Mm-hmm. And then 6 hours later, like, actually, Milkshake Duck is a racist.
Yep.
And then they made memes where it was like a duck drinking a milkshake, but if you zoomed in, he had a swastika on his foot and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like...
Yeah, the term like milkshake duck is like someone that gets like popular on social media for something like good or funny or whatever, and then like you later find out that like they're trash.
Yeah. And so at this point, it seems like this guy, Jensen Karp, is trash. And you have other people talking about how like he works in, you know, he's a producer, he works in like promotion and things like that. Like it really does seem like he probably just didn't have a whole lot going on and he just like made this up and like somehow General Mills kind of played into it. And he's
this is the internet, right? I need Kevin's theory.
Oh, my theory is that he made it up. Okay. I don't buy it at all. So what I want to do for everyone here, whether you know about this or not, the internet's a terrible fucking place. Okay, mm-hmm. It's awful. So what I want to do for people is, whether you're following the story or not, I want to give you a different story that you can follow. That I think is fantastic, and this guy's not a piece of shit. All right, so there's a guy
that we know of. You know,
I've been following this guy for years.
The milkshake duck rears its head. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure it would have come out by now if this guy was a piece of shit. So my gift to you, if this guy's a milkshake duck, I'll own this. I'm willing to own that. Twitter user at Ben Meckler. That's Mekler. Okay. He's a writer, director / idiot. That's what his Twitter bio says. He's written on a few different shows, movies, and things like that. His main claim to fame, though, is the thing that he does, this prank that he continually pulls, and it continues to work, which is that he thinks it's really funny to, on the day or day before some big release comes out, for him to post something on Twitter that has kind of the right keywords and hashtags in it that it gets picked up by websites. And then he puts something completely ridiculous in it that's definitely not even related to the show that he's talking about.
Give me an example.
A perfect example of that is the movie Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, comicbook.com posted an article, Godzilla vs. Kong first reactions hit the internet with high praise. Now, he knew they would pick up his tweet, right? He posted, loved Godzilla vs. Kong. Great, comprehensible action, a fittingly gonzo story, and they did an incredible job hiding their big twist, parentheses. For most of the movie, both Godzilla and Kong are very, very small. And these get posted and shared in actual articles about these movies, and he does it pretty much every week. He'll just pick whatever the next big release is, and he'll find a way to get some article to share his tweet.
Yeah, because just because one outlet picks up on what he's doing, it doesn't mean the other ones aren't going to. So it's like there's always somebody out there biting.
So if anybody needs something fun from the internet, Ben Meckler, it's constantly hilarious. I love it because it's like that weird low level trolling that I think is so just beautiful. So yeah, Ben Meckler.
Well, while we're shouting out Ben's, then I'm going to shout out Ben Marshall, which is he's this comedian that I found on Twitter. I sent you the video a while ago, Kevin. This is his Twitter handle is not Ben Marshall, and he's part of a comedy group that I found out called Please Don't Destroy. So if you go to like pleasedon'tdestroy.com, it's like basically it's like all their YouTube videos. But yeah, I mean they're a comedy group the same way that Derek comedy was when, you know, Childish Gambino, Donald Glover was starting out. So follow those guys. They do shows and stuff, but obviously not now during a pandemic. Right. So, but yeah, Ben Marshall on any sort of social media, or not Ben Marshall on social media. Ben Marshall is his YouTube page.
Yeah.
Moving on to the things we loved, Kevin. Now that the things that we're unsure about are out of the way, the things that we love this week, but it's also we're also still not sure, because the first thing we're going to talk about is something that was released last Friday that everybody on the internet is talking about. I watched 45 minutes of it, so I have opinions on the 45 minutes that I watched. Kevin watched all 4 hours of it. It's the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Yeah.
And again, I asked Kevin before we did this today, I was like, do you want me to put this in the love or the hate? And he told me both. So we're just going to lead with it, and we're going to see where it goes. So let's start by talking about the things you loved about it, since this is the love segment. So let's go. What'd you love about Snyder Cut?
So I love the shifting of the narrative that they did. I think in the theatrical cut of Justice League that I rewatched about a week ago, the theatrical cut is a very like cookie cutter type of superhero film where you just have like introduction of the villain, introduction of the heroes you already know, clash, and like just kind of you have your very, very simple acts 1, 2, and 3 kind of deal, where the Snyder Cut, I think by virtue of its length, does take the time to really flesh out the characters. And I think that that's something that is missing from the DCEU. Now, I think the problem is, versus the MCU, the problem is that they haven't had all these movies to set it up. Like the reason the first Avengers movie doesn't have to flesh out these characters is we've already met all of them. We already know all of them. They've essentially all either had solo movies or supporting roles in other movies. With the DCEU, it's not like that. I mean, really, this is the first time we're actually really seeing Flash, you know, other than his little cameo in Batman versus Superman. This is the first time we're really seeing Aquaman. This is the first time we're really seeing Cyborg. Really, the only heroes we've gotten a big taste of are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and really Superman's absent for most of the movie. The Snyder Cut, I should say, and the theatrical cut too. So I thought it was really nice that they actually did take the time to flesh out those characters. I love Ezra Miller's take on the Flash in the Snyder Cut. I think in the theatrical version, they made him a little wimpy, where when you see the full arc of his character in the Snyder Cut, it makes a lot more sense why he is the way that he is, and he's still more heroic and just a much better character. And I'm just dying for him to actually get his solo movie. I hope that they do it. I know, and you'll love it too, because he essentially, the Flash is like the Spider-Man of the DC universe, where he's got that like that young energy, and he's got that kind of like nerdiness to him, then the kind of slightly reluctant hero, but still has like that go get him attitude that makes him want to, do the heroic thing. But really, I think re-centering Cyborg as like the heart of the movie serves two purposes that I really love. And one is that it gives such good context to the overall arc of the movie, that you have someone like him that's kind of grounding it a little bit, that he's both human and slightly supernatural, and he can kind of tap into everyone's powers in a way where he knows so much because he's a cyborg. But he's the kind of the key to stopping Steppenwolf from getting the mother boxes and things like that. So he becomes the central figure of the movie. And then the second reason that I really like that they did that is that Ray Fisher, who played him, was one of the people who was the most vocal about what a piece of shit Joss Whedon was, and how he had cut a big portion of his role out, and he was so abusive on the set, both verbally and otherwise. And it was really nice to kind of see him kind of get out of it what he thought he was going to get the first time.
Right.
So I loved that part of it. I mean, there's a couple other little things that I loved. I didn't know that I loved Jeremy Irons as Alfred so much until the Snyder Cut. And there's really only a couple extra scenes, but those couple extra scenes just really worked for me. Like, and this is someone who, like, I still think the definitive version of Batman in almost every sense is Chris Nolan's Batman trilogy.
Right.
So having said that, I think that Michael Caine is the definitive Alfred. But I love that with Jeremy Irons, they did something that felt so unique and new, but familiar enough that we knew that that was the character they were going for. So, like, I really like that aspect of it. I'm glad that they removed all of Joss Whedon's gratuitous ass shots of Wonder Woman, because that was just silly. There's a bunch of side-by-side shots on the internet you can find now where people do comparisons of the Joss Whedon shot versus the Snyder shot, and a lot of the side-by-sides they do with Wonder Woman are just that Joss Whedon wanted to shoot her ass. And I just think that that's silly, especially for someone like Gal Gadot, who's like a fantastic actor and I think really does inhabit that part very well. She's not there for her ass. Like, that's silly.
So I guess my main question, and really my only question, is this movie worked for multiple reasons, but it also worked because it was 4 hours, because he had that much time to tell this story. Do you think if he was trying to make a theatrical 2.5 hour movie, he would have been able to pull off the same thing that he did? Or do you think this was kind of best case scenario for his vision?
I don't know. I mean, so, we're going to get into it. Part of what I didn't like.
Yeah, you can move right into that now. If you
want
want to.
Yeah. So, I mean, part of what I didn't like, it is still too long. There's too much. Like, I don't know if this needs to be 2 movies or what. I mean, I'm of the mind that now that I have watched it, I think there's a 2 hour, like, there's a really good 2 hour movie in it. This needs to be edited. There's a lot of stuff you can compartmentalize and cut down. Not to mention, like, if you make some of the scenes not slow motion,
I was going to say, didn't they say 10% of the movie is in slow mo?
There's a shitload. You could cut a half an hour out of the movie.
I read it was 10%, and what's 10% of 4 hours?
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, so, like, I think there's a really good 2 hour movie in it. You need to edit it, and I've got some ideas on that. I mean, I think there's a smart way to do it.
It's 24 minutes. 24 minutes of the movie is in slow motion.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that. So, yeah. So, I mean, you could right there. I mean, if you just limit some of the slow motion, you could probably cut 20 minutes out. There's a couple subplots you can cut out for sure. I mean, like, things like, when you could make the scene where Steppenwolf goes to Themyscira a lot shorter. We've already been introduced to Wonder Woman at this point. Like, we kind of already get it, you can, I love one of my favorite scenes is the new scene introducing Barry, the Flash, introducing him, where he's like applying for a job and he saves Iris. They don't say that she's Iris, but that's who she's credited as in the cast. I love that scene. That might have been one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. But if we're trying to be like, if we're trying to nitpick here, you could probably trim stuff like that. I think you could completely take Steppenwolf out of it as a villain. I really, really, really disliked the character design in the theatrical cut, and I, like, 10 times more hated his design in the Snyder cut. Like, the thing with the little blades all over him that kind of move, and like
he looks more badass, I suppose. Like, he definitely looks like more of a villain than he did.
He looks like if you gave the people who made the early 90s Power Rangers show a bigger budget, this is what they would make.
Yo, like, I'm down though. I was a Power Rangers kid.
I love Power Rangers too.
Oh my god. Like, I had a whole birthday that was Power Rangers themed. I had my Power Ranger shorts on, my Power Ranger t-shirt on. You know what I didn't watch though was the reboot. I didn't watch that Power Rangers movie.
You want to know what though? I mean, not to get too off topic here, but like, it wasn't that bad. I kind of enjoyed it.
Listen, so like back then, like, I wasn't watching as many like superhero movies and just like kind of action movies or whatever. Now that I'm watched through the MCU, like, I'm just like in the mood. Like, I'll tell you right now, I watched 45 minutes of the Snyder Cut, having no interest like really in the DC universe at all, because I really like Joker last year, 2 years ago when it came out. But that's not even part of this, so that is not disregard that at all. But like, I liked what I watched of the Snyder Cut, and now I'm excited to keep watching it. And I think it's just because I've done this MCU watch through, which, by the way, Megan and I just have Far From Home left. Nice. I think we're going to watch it on Saturday. And so like, we're going to be completely done at that point. So I'm kind of in the mood now.
check out the Power Rangers movie. I mean, it's definitely not a great movie by any means. But I remember watching it.
Listen, I watched Thor. I watched Thor: The Dark World. I watched Iron Man 2. Like I can watch not great movies. Okay.
No, I think I watched it right when like lockdown first started. You know, we were because I know it was not that long ago, like a little less than a year. Yeah, I mean, it's like I didn't hate it. Like it's kind of fine. Like I left I left it thinking I want them to make another one, not because this is like super good, but because they laid enough groundwork in there that I want to see what these characters
is the fucking face guy in it.
Yeah, dude, Bryan Cranston plays
Oh, yeah, that's right. I knew that. Yeah. Okay,
like
I'm watching it.
Like, and she's like all over the like as Rita Repulsa, and she's like grimy and stuff. And they do the whole thing where the team has to come together. They do like a giant Zord at the end and stuff. Like it's gnarly. Like it's fine. It's stupid, but it works.
Anything else you want to say about Justice League?
Let me see what else I got for notes.
How are they continuing on from there? Like the DC universe is all fucked up. Like I know Joker's not a part of it.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad was, but now they're doing a new Suicide Squad. So I guess that one going to be a part of this, or is that its own thing too? Like Joker.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing with DC is you just don't know at this point.
Like they just need to stop and then just like restart it again. Like they can just try again.
So let me give you like a few things that I thought were pretty cool. Just some notes I took. The first thing I wrote, this is like 10 minutes in the movie, is that Zack Snyder has never heard the phrase less is more. That's my biggest beef with him, is that like, I just think that he always wants every single scene to be so over the top. And there's so much value in having like quieter scenes, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too off topic here, but like, think of like Tarantino movies. Like there's so much like depth and like things that happen in between. Like, you know, you think about like this. You've seen Inglourious Bastards, right? Yeah. We watched it together. Like the scene in the basement of the bar that's just all dialogue has like more tension in that like 15-20 minutes than almost anything they do in Justice League, and it's just all dialogue, you know. And so I think Zack Snyder just needs to learn like less is more. I got things about Steppenwolf's design. I already talked about that. Jeremy Irons, really like that. The Amazonians versus Parademons was one of my favorite fight scenes that they did. I thought that was pretty cool. That was a little bit extended from the theatrical cut. Watching all the Wonder Woman stuff, I saw him. So I wrote down, I'm imagining Joss Whedon being like, ugh, girls are dumb, and cutting out all the best Wonder Woman stuff and adding more shots of her butt, because that's what it seemed like he did. Like he took a lot of the good Wonder Woman stuff out. New Flash intro is one of my favorite parts so far. The Bruce and Diana sexual chemistry is new in the Snyder Cut, but they never really revisit it. So I don't know, you know, is there a payoff there? I'm not sure. But fuck Ben Affleck as Batman, so I don't want there to be a payoff. A couple other positive things. I do really, really, really like Zack Snyder's vision for Gotham. I thought the way, like, Gotham's only in it for a little bit, but it was very like comic booky the way the backgrounds were. So I thought that was really cool. I love J.K. Simmons as Gordon. I thought he was fantastic in just his like couple little tiny scenes he was in.
You still gotta watch Joker, dude, because that Gotham is.
I'll watch it. I will.
You gotta.
I thought the music was way better in the Snyder Cut than it was in the theatrical version. And I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he used a DJ kind of guy, kind of the way that like Fincher likes to use Trent Reznor. It was one of those things. So the music is a little more like techno / rock kind of thing. And I thought that was really smart because it sets it apart from the MCU that uses very orchestral sounding music. So like, I thought that was neat to set it apart.
In the 45 minutes that I watched, I would call it neon butt rock.
Yeah, it gets better. It gets better. Yeah. You're not that far off. And I thought it was really cool that there was like this little throwaway thing at the very end where they introduced the character Adam. There was, so I read again, listeners or watchers of Rosemary Media will know, like, I grew up reading DC comics. That's what my dad had. So I read a lot of DC stuff. I read a lot of Atom comics. That's ATOM, Corey, by the way, not Adam. So Adam, I always thought was a really cool character. He's what inspired Marvel to steal it and do Ant-Man. Like he can shrink down to the size of an atom, and like but retains his strength and everything like that. And I always thought he was a really cool character. Like he even did this thing where like there's a lot of potential here to make an Atom movie, but like he did this thing where he even like shrank down and found this like microscopic society that he could be a part of, and they were like it was like a medieval thing, and like but then he'd go back up and he was like a member of the Justice Society and stuff. So I thought it was cool. They had like this little throwaway line where they revealed that this guy that you've been seeing working at Star Labs the whole time is actually Atom. So that was really neat. But yeah, overall, I think it's safe to say I liked the Snyder Cut. I liked it.
Like you're happy this was a thing. You're happy it exists now. And if someone was to be watching through the DC universe and they want to watch, they get to Justice League, you're saying watch this one instead.
Yeah, but also having said that, like because it's 4 hours long, like I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I really do want somebody, and I know this sucks because we had the theatrical version, the Snyder Cut, and now they're releasing the Snyder Cut in black and white. And like it's all these different versions, and like we haven't even talked about the aspect ratio, but that sucked too. Yeah, who releases a movie in 4:3? Like
it's classic, Kevin. It's classic.
So I want somebody to edit this. I don't know what they would call it. Like, I want them to edit it into a good 2-hour movie.
Well, the thing is, like, it was originally going to be like a series. He was going to do like an episodic thing, and like the movie is literally broken up into parts. There's part 1, and then there's part 2, and it's like, why couldn't they have just done it that way? And then you've got people talking about it for like 8 weeks straight, as opposed to just like it's a thing for a week and then it's gone. Like, look how long people were talking about WandaVision. Like, you don't want to have people's attention for that extended period of time.
What I want and I don't know, I haven't looked up who the editor is. I will. I want a woman to edit this, and I say that only because like a lot of my favorite things ever were edited by women. Most of the Spielberg stuff, a lot of Scorsese stuff, like are edited by women. And if you're looking for a description for why that is, Patton Oswalt, the comedian, has a really amazing routine about how directing and editing is like a man and a woman having sex, where like like a man is just like, I just shot it. I gave you this. I gave you all that. And then the woman, the editor, is like, okay, you go sit down. I'll make a human out of this. Like you did your thing. Thank you so much for shooting 200 miles of film.
It's like when Zero Dark 30 won against Avatar for Best Picture that year.
Because when
he lost to his ex-wife. Yeah.
He's
just like highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah, and Zero Dark 30 is a better movie than Avatar, though. So yeah. So I mean, that's the lesson to be learned there. Like, if you want to talk about like gender politics or something like that, I mean, like women are better editors. They see it better, because think about like even in your own marriage and mine, like our wives, like a lot of times, don't you feel like they kind of maybe know what's better for us anyway?
Sometimes,
maybe. I mean, there's a lot of things where you just like they just kind of decide on a thing, and you're like, huh.
Like I'd much rather have her make decisions than me.
Yeah.
Like if I could never decide anything ever, and I could just be like, at this point, me well enough where it's just like, you could just do that for me. You know what I mean? Like you make the better decision for me.
So let a woman edit the Snyder Cut.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. The last thing I want to say, just the last thing that I want to say, this is, I know I talked a little bit about like love and hate and that kind of thing. The thing I truly hate about the Snyder Cut, because the other things are just like gripes, just dislikes. The true hate is toxic fandom. Is that I hate that there is a faction of people, I don't want to call them neckbeards, but they are, that have now gotten a studio to change something for them.
Oh, because now it's fucking just opens up the gates.
It's open season, and I hate that. I hate that there's people that it's like trending now to release the Lucas cut of episode 9. It doesn't exist. Okay. It's not a thing. Like, I just hate that you've got all these like piece of shit fanboys. And I'm going to talk about Star Wars because that's my preferred fandom. Just assholes that want to like call Rey a Mary Sue, and they want to remove her from this, and they want to like keep like Ben Solo as the hero, and like just different things they want to happen and not happen. Like I hate that toxic
The worst.
fandom
So
gotta
awful.
win. Mm-hmm. They gotta win, because even though the Snyder Cut is, I think, objectively better than the theatrical cut, I hate that they gotta win here. I hate that the internet won. That sucks, because
it gives them too much power. They can't. It's not. It's not safe.
And I get it that content like this, especially things that are related to comic books, and books and things like that, basically anything that's adapted, it's for the fans. But
so I didn't.
Think there's a level of fandom that is like so toxic and shitty, and they're the ones that yell about it. And I hate that they got to win. I hate it.
We've yet to talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm sure we'll get into it more on Funny Business, which we're recording next week. But what did you think of episode 1? What do you think of the start of the show?
That was good. Yeah. I mean, it was obviously, I think it's going to get compared a lot more to WandaVision, and I don't think it really deserves that. Even though they're in the same universe, they're very, very much not similar shows. I think it's more comparable to The Mandalorian as far as things that are on Disney Plus. I mean, it was nice. I think it's going to be. I think it'll get better. I don't want to imply I didn't like the first episode, but the first episode didn't do anything that was like, holy shit, So like, other than it established. They did a good job.
That's what I like so much about it. So like the most interesting thing in all of the MCU for me is the blip. Nothing is cooler. Nothing is more interesting to me than the blip. So the more they can go back there and just like touch on how different people's lives were affected by it, like. Anytime that you just like see, like when it first happens at the end of Infinity War, and like you just see like the helicopter that's flying and then goes down, you see the cars that are going off the road. It's just like, I want to know those stories. You know what I mean? Hey, tell me the dude that was flying in the plane, like every single person that died and every single person that didn't. I want to know their story.
Yeah. So I have a pitch for that. I think Disney Plus should do a show called The Blip. That is however many episodes in an anthology thing. So each episode
This Is Us, but in the MCU.
No, but here's the thing: is like say we do 8 episodes, pick 8 individual stories of normal people, not even slightly related to the Avengers or anyone. They got affected by the blip, and the first thought that came to mind is a husband and wife that were at the altar when the blip happened, and one of them gets blipped and then reappears like in the church randomly 5 years later. And obviously everyone's gone. It's been 5 years. The partner has moved on, and he or she was just ready to say, I do. Right. So like, that's an episode right there.
Yeah. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Is like, there's so many different stories like that this universe could tell. And like, again, like that's just something that like hasn't been done in any other show or movie that I'm aware of. And it's like, there's just so many layers to that. And there's so much that you can do with that. So the more that they can dive into that, and that's why I like that this is a show and not a movie, is because they can just like, they can let these characters breathe. They can like let this story breathe, and they can just kind of just like show them going and trying to take out a loan. You know what I mean? They can show like how it affected Winter Soldier, and like, the people that he had killed in his past, and he's trying to make right, and with that list that he's got going on, and like that old guy that I don't want to spoil anything, but like the old guy that you find out what he did to his son, and then like these stories just get room to like actually be told when it's not like a rushed action movie, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So having said that, I don't know if Kevin Feige listens to Rosemary at all.
He might,
but if he does, like, hit us up. I got like Corey and I will, we'll executive produce The Blip, and like we've got a bunch of stories. Obviously, we'll talk numbers after. We are super cheap, so
yeah. It's terribly cheap. You know what I mean? As far as like Hollywood standards go, like if you can just like give me as much as I make at my job per year, which, you know what I mean? Like in Hollywood standards, like that's nothing, dude. Like just give me that much and I'll sit at home and I'll pop off a story a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to use them all. You don't have to use 365 stories. You just pick the ones that you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Will I like it as much as WandaVision? I don't know. I think WandaVision is just like that character and that story was more interesting to me than just like probably where this one's going to end up. But I hope they surprise me. Like I hope this ends up being already episode 1, just one in. I I like it more than I anticipated. So I'm hoping it just keeps going in that direction, and the MCU just like, you know, they can't be stopped.
I think they've got all the pieces in place to make this one great. I mean, how do you not like Anthony Mackie? You know, like he's just so like infectiously likable.
Yo, shout out his best movie, The Night Before, with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
His best movie. That guy was in The Hurt Locker. Are you kidding me? He was in The Hurt Locker.
It doesn't matter.
Think The Night Of is his best movie?
Yeah, The Night Before was
not to mention all the MCU stuff. You never even seen The Hurt Locker, have you?
Tell me what Christmas scenes are in The Hurt Locker.
I mean, Christmas probably happens there in Afghanistan, so like I don't know, or Iraq. I don't know which one they were in.
Moving on, Kevin. Did we hate anything this week other than what we already discussed? Snyder Cut and Shrimp Tails.
Toxic fandom. That's what I hated.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
So the only thing I'm going to shout out is I hate scumbags and trash garbage people, because my wife's account got hacked and she had money dripping out of one account then with a bunch of purchases that she didn't make, and then canceled that card and thought it was all set. And a day later, there's a different card that was she's got money spilling out of. So she had to cancel both cards, and God knows what's happening with them. And so if you can't make your own money, don't take other people's. Just do something else.
You're very lucky that you have someone who works at a financial institution, and you were able to get to the bottom of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, like immediately I was just like, who can I contact that might have the answer here? And it was Kevin. And like Kevin's theory is probably it. Like it definitely checked out. So I'm pretty sure we got the answer. Hopefully there's no other issues going forward.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at my job. So yeah. I figured.
But yeah, I mean, as of right now, she's just missing $1,000. So hopefully we get that back. Like, we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you're out there, like you got some system where you can just like punch it in and like it has all these credit cards and you can hack shit and you're just like this little tech nerd person, get your own money, dude. Get a real job. Garbage trash people, Kevin.
Garbage trash people, all of them.
Garbage trash.
I thought you were going to go on a rant about people who don't put their shopping carts away, because I know
we've already done that rant, dude. I mean, they're garbage trash people too. Like things like that, the shopping carts, the taking money out of people's accounts. Was Thanos right? Was Thanos right all along, Kevin?
Probably.
Can we just eliminate just the bad people? That's the thing. Is like the thing with the snap is just like all they have to do is think it, and then they snap and it goes away. You know what I mean? Yeah. All you do, I hope everybody that is like, a piece of shit doesn't even deserve to live here dies, and then we'll just be a better place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you got to be more specific, because doesn't deserve, like, you gotta be like, I mean, you have now
right, because who decides
all
that?
The Infinity Gems,
yeah,
and you're just gonna say all the people who don't put their shopping carts away die.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, like my fucking I don't know, my cousin's gone. You know what I mean? Just because he didn't do it a couple times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can honestly say I've never not put my shopping cart.
Me either, because like I have been on the butt end of like I leave my car, I go into a store, I come out, and there is a dent in the side of my car that is the exact shape of the corner of that shopping cart that's 2 feet away from it. And it's like somebody that didn't put that cart away, the wind gushed it and it smashed into the side of my car, and now I got a dent in my car and it's your fault. And had you just put it away, it wouldn't be there.
You know why I've never done it? I mean, I think I probably would have come to this conclusion anyway, because you're a garbage person if you don't put your shopping cart away.
Garbage trash, yeah.
But my very first job that I ever had was stocking shelves overnight at a grocery store. Mm-hmm. My first night that I got there, they like this lady that was my supervisor was like, she was lovely. She said, "You probably don't know what you're going to do, and I don't have time to train you, so I need you to go outside and wrangle the shopping cart." So my very first thing I ever did that I ever got paid for job-wise was going out into a parking lot.
Did they give you a lasso?
Carts. No, they give you like this long hook thing that you can like hook all of them together with.
You say the word wrangle, and I just think like fucking
I wrangled them. So I went and I got all the shopping carts, and so and it sucked. So I always put my cart away.
That's it. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
That's all for this week. Check out, like I said, www.rosemary.media. Click that store icon. There's shirts and long sleeves and mugs and stickers and all sorts of stuff up there. Recording all of our other podcasts within the next 5 days. I think we're doing Party Crashers on Saturday, Modern Classics on Sunday, and then Funny Business on Monday, because I'm a psychopath, and instead of doing one podcast a week, I just do them all within 5 days, and then I just kind of have a couple weeks off to myself. Yeah.
Then you coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to say, I listened to Party Crashers last weekend. Actually, it was Sunday on my way to get my shot, the way there and back. I listened to Party Crashers. It was my first time listening to it. I have to say, the new co-hosts are a massive upgrade for me. Um, so that was really cool. I loved the talk about video game movie adaptations. And as I texted you guys about this, uh, I think you should also do movies that deserve video game adaptations. And if you want, I would love to do a little quick guest spot on Party Crashers to pitch a couple
Oh, we'll
ideas.
do a
I have.
crossover. Yeah. We'll do a
Crossover there, where I think my thought was movies that have not even sniffed a video game adaptation, like of all time, like whatever, what deserves it right now. So I've got a couple ideas too, and I think those boys would like that as well.
Yeah, that could either be, we could either do it in an episode, or we can make that its own like little YouTube thing. But we'll talk. We'll have my people, which is just me. I'm my people. We'll talk to your people, which is you. It's your people. I'll talk to you. Yeah. We'll talk to each other.
We'll text right after this.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Buy some shit on the store. We'll see you next time.